Columnist for the Washington Post, fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, and a Fox News contributor. Marc, it's so difficult to tell at this point how this is all going to end. But it was interesting to hear the president blaming his predecessor, President Obama, for where things are today, because you just wrote a piece doing the same thing. Why?
Absolutely, and not just Obama, Chuck Schumer. I mean, look, in 2008, Barack Obama campaigned on a promise to make comprehensive immigration reform and passing the DREAM Act one of the first things he did when he got to the Oval Office. He promised Jorge Ramos from Univision that it might not be in the first 100 days, but in the first year, he was going to introduce a bill and push for a bill for comprehensive immigration reform. Back then, Democrats controlled the White House, the House, and they had a 60-vote filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. There was nothing that could stop them from passing this. They didn't even introduce a bill. And you know who was responsible for producing the bill? Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer in 2009 succeeded Ted Kennedy as the chairman of the immigration subcommittee responsible for producing the bill. He didn't even do his job. And Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House. She could have brought any immigration bill to the floor that she wanted. So these people had a window to do it, and they didn't care enough about helping illegal immigrants to get this done, and then Republicans took over, and all of a sudden they had to negotiate, and they didn't want to do it. So they had the window to do this, and they chose not to, and now they're responsible for the standoff we have today.
So then weigh in on what you just heard from Chuck Schumer. Talking about how the president has been handling this issue, saying that the White House has been unreliable and unpredictable. He said this president moves forward on one thing, his staff pulls him back and undoes whatever he says.
You know, that's just an excuse for Chuck Schumer not wanting to negotiate with Donald Trump. I mean, look, what Donald Trump did this week is extraordinary. Donald Trump put out a proposal offering a path to citizenship for 1.8 million illegal immigrants who are currently in this country. That is more than double the number of people who were covered under Barack Obama's DACA proposal. And it's not just legal status, which is what Trump had been talking about up until now. He offered a path to citizenship. That is amnesty. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump just put forward an offer that includes amnesty. That is something that is incredibly hard to take for his base, and he's actually getting criticized by some corners of his own base. But as Donald Trump said, I can stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and my base is going to be with me. So he's got the credibility to do this. What is Chuck Schumer doing? Let's look at what his proposal is this week. He took the wall off the table. He said no money for a wall. There's not going to be a deal without a wall. So if you put this in front of the American people and say Donald Trump, who campaigned against illegal immigration, is offering amnesty to 1.8 million people in exchange for a wall, and Chuck Schumer is saying no.
Right. In exchange for $25 billion in funding for that wall. So the question then becomes, we're kind of back where we started then. Are Democrats going to agree to anything here? Are they going to hand this president a victory when it comes to immigration?
Give him a wall. What's wrong with a wall? I don't understand. I mean, you may not think it's the best thing in the world.
That's not the only issue they have. That's not the only issue Democrats have, though, Marc. Like, let's talk chain migration. They're going to have a major issue with that as well.
Okay, but chain migration is all Trump is proposing on chain migration is to limit it to the nuclear family. So like your sixth cousin can't come in because you got into the United States. I mean, we got people who are bringing in 20, 25, 30 people behind them. I mean, most of these are very reasonable proposals. Having an immigration system that's based on merit rather on a visa lottery. I mean, these are not controversial proposals. But look, they've got to negotiate. I fully understand that Chuck Schumer is not going to give Donald Trump a check for $25 billion in exchange for 1.8 million illegal immigrants, but he might give Donald Trump might accept a trade of $25 billion for, let's say, comprehensive immigration reform that addresses all 11 million people who have not committed crimes. He campaigned on that. Remember, it was something during the campaign. So they have to negotiate. These are starting positions.
Fired up Marc Thiessen on this issue. All right, Marc Thiessen, we thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks,
always good to see you.
More to come, too, right?
Again,
a great escape, firing up.